All right, Anthropic has just dropped another bombshell, a new model, Opus 4.8. This is a decisive moment for them with so many people switching to Codex and GPT-5.5. So in this video, we're going to do a quick overview of what's changed, what's actually in it for you. Then we're going to put it to the test with a live build comparing Opus 4.7, 4.8, and GPT-5.5, and we'll see just how well Opus 4.8 compares. So not wasting any more time, let's dive right into the announcement here. We're upgrading Claude Opus to a new version, Opus 4.8. It builds on 4.7 with improvements across benchmarks and is a more effective collaborator. Interesting, we'll see what they mean by that, if that's just marketing. Opus 4.8 launches alongside several new features. Number one, users on Claude AI now have control over the amount of effort Claude puts into tasks. Okay, interesting, that could help with token usage for people that are using Claude AI. Claude Code has a new dynamic workflows feature that allows it to tackle very large scale problems. Interesting. And then fast mode for Opus 4.8, where the model can work at 2.5x the speed, is now 3 times cheaper. I don't use fast mode, but maybe I will. Opus 4.8's capabilities, I'm going to gloss over these benchmarks, but just to set some context, 4.7 dropped, what, 6 weeks ago now, and out of the gate, it looked great, felt great, everyone was really impressed. It seemed to have a big coding jump, better visual reasoning. Anecdotally, it just felt like a better model, but over the last few weeks, something has shifted. I don't think this is just me, and honestly, this is typically what happens with these models. Anthropic seems more guilty of it than other folks, maybe just because they have more of a spotlight on themselves, or maybe they are actually more guilty of nerfing their models, but it's starting to feel nerfed. Just across the board, it's guzzling tokens, maxing out usage so fast. It just seems dumber. It just seems dumber than 4.6. People really loved 4.6. It just had more of a human feel. It checked its own work. It actually finished these tasks. Opus 4.7 seems to be hallucinating a ton lately. So 4.7 for me and a lot of folks, it's felt like a step back. And that is where GPT-5.5 came in at just the right time. Codex 2.0 dropped. Their interface was just incredibly user-friendly, way more user-friendly than Claude Code, for example, or the terminal, God forbid. So this is where we'll see if Opus is a step forward. I mean, looking at these benchmarks, it certainly seems like one. However, you never know how much to trust these. But let's just quickly gloss over these. So a nice bump across the board, 5%, 7%, whatever that means. The agentic computer use, though, this is the one that is intriguing. Agentic computer use is when the model takes over your computer, your browser, and it opens apps, it does the clicking, scrolling, form filling, all that kind of stuff. GPT-5.5 has been the best at this, in my opinion. The browser use or the computer use plugin is absolutely killer. It's so fast, it's really intelligent. I mean, a 5% jump, we'll see how that actually looks in practice, but this could be very useful for having, the AI take over your computer. This especially is relevant if you're a knowledge worker, and the people that are moving fastest, especially in corporate environments, are going to have agents navigating browsers for them and doing real world computer tasks while they, focus on something else. So the mundanity of your work where you're just constantly clicking through, I don't know, antiquated UIs or whatever, is just going to be handled by the LLM, and they're continuing to get better. So this one is especially relevant for if you're just doing work every day. And then knowledge work and agentic financial analysis. This has got my attention too, because GPT-5.5, their big selling point was real world heavy reasoning and thinking tasks, parsing dense spreadsheets, financial modeling, building presentations from, huge walls of text. GPT-5.5 was exceptional at this, and they really touted this in their marketing. So to see Opus 4.8 claiming it's the best model for this definitely has got me intrigued. This is actually where I've been pointing some of my clients to, because Claude Code is so bad at this. I was saying, just switch to GPT-5.5 with Codex, because it's just so much better at knowledge work, especially when it comes to financial analysis. So I might be eating my words on that one. We'll see. I want to create a dedicated video just for this knowledge work, because I want to put this to the test compared to 5.5 and Opus 4.8. But that is the benchmarks as a whole. Marginal bumps here and there compared to previous model releases, but it is intriguing, especially for knowledge work. Okay, early testers, saying more reliable and sharper. Okay, one of the most prominent improvements in Opus 4.8 is its honesty. We train all our models to be honest. For instance, to avoid making claims that they can't support. This is a big 4.7 problem. My goodness, I could not stand this. But a general problem with AI models is they sometimes jump to conclusions. Yeah, you're telling me. Early testers report that Opus 4.8 is more likely to flag uncertainty about its work and less likely to make unsupported claims. Okay, that's huge if that's actually true. But I mean, Opus 4.7 was egregious at checking its own work and claiming a task was done before it actually finished. So much so where I had dedicated skills beyond just QA because I needed to push it even more to make sure that its work was actually done. So I'm really hoping this is much better in 4.8. Also launching today, dynamic workflows. These are the 3 big launches in addition to the model upgrade. This new feature available in research preview allows Claude to take on even bigger tasks in Claude Code. Claude can now plan and then run hundreds of parallel sub-agents in a single session. It then verifies its outputs before reporting back to the user. Interesting. That's kind of cool. I mean, this is similar to Codex's goal feature. I mean, I know Claude Code launched this very similar feature, so we'll see how this actually works in practice as well, but this could be especially useful if you are coding. so doing huge refactors, one-shotting an application or a website, and then also specific for knowledge work, like parsing massive amounts of data. If it really is good at financial analysis, like it's claiming, going through that data, structuring something messy into a cohesive document, running checks across a stack of presentations, or just running analytics in parallel. If it can do that with hundreds of parallel subagents, like it's claiming, I mean, that would be particularly useful for big knowledge work tasks. I definitely want to put this to the test with a dedicated video. It looks like in this post, they have more information on this. Introducing dynamic workflows. Okay. I'm not going to get too into this, but I just curious how it's running in action. Okay. They give a couple examples how it works. Cool. Yeah. I mean, I'm going to put this to the test in another video. The next one is effort control in Claude AI and Cowork. A new control alongside the model selector lets users choose how much effort Claude puts into a response. Interesting. On higher effort settings, Claude will think more frequently and more deeply. On lower effort settings, Claude will respond faster. Users now have this choice. That's actually huge, because in Claude Code, you've been able to control the effort level for a while now. They have low, medium, high, X high, I think, and max. Is very confusing, but you can control the effort based on a coding task. For example, if you're doing some low effort thing, you can just bring the effort down and you're saving tokens. Now you can do the same thing, it looks like, inside Claude AI. So this might actually be really helpful with hitting token limits and usage caps, which has been a huge point of contention for Claude AI and Claude Cowork users. So you now have some sort of control with an effort level on every model, not just Opus. Okay, Opus-4.8 defaults to high effort, which we judge to be the best overall. Users can now choose extra, X high, and Claude or max, and the model will spend more tokens to get better results. Okay, it's just kind of repeating itself. We have increased rate limits in Claude Code to accommodate the higher token usage of higher effort levels. We've been fooled by that before. We'll see if that's actually true, but apparently they're saying token usage has been increased. What's next? Users will find Opus-4.8 to be a modest but tangible improvement. Okay, yeah, you know, they're being honest. There's still more work to be done. We're working on developing and releasing models. Okay, not only that. Okay, another Project Glasswing plug. All right, and then availability. Opus-4.8 is available everywhere today. Pricing for regular usage is unchanged from Opus-4.7. Okay, so it's the same cost as Opus-4.7. All right, start using 4.8. Okay, so those are the features, those are the benchmarks, but let's actually see what 4.8 looks like in practice. We're gonna get super hands-on with this and run through a demo comparing Opus-4.8, Opus-4.7, and GPT-5.5. So we're gonna be putting these models to the test with my favorite demo, a flight simulator. Listen, I love a good flight simulator. Shoot me. I know we see these demos everywhere, but it's a great test of physics, creativity, design as a whole, and they're just fun. They're just fun. So we're gonna go into Claude via the terminal window to start and make sure that 4.8 is selected. There we go. And then we'll open up another window with Opus-4.7, and then we'll go to Codex, create a new project, go high on Codex, see if I can position these properly. Okay, so we've got 4.8 at the top here, 4.7 on the bottom left, and Codex. Here is the prompt. Paste it everywhere. Build a 3D flight simulator in a single HTML file. I want to take off from JFK, fly over recognizable New York City, Manhattan skyline, Statue of Liberty, Brooklyn Bridge, Hudson and East Rivers, include an HUD with altitude, airspeed, heading, etc. Use a third-person camera, so the time of day to sunset. Use 3JS via CDN. Everything is self-contained in one file. All right, let's get the agents working. And the agents are off and running. All of them are just thinking right now. Nothing of note. I am curious which one's going to finish the fastest. 4.7 is already done. It just opened up the Claude Chrome extension to check its work, and oh, what do you know? There's a typo in the file. Fix it, 4.7. Meanwhile, we've got Codex. Looks like Codex is finished as well. The first version is in place. Codex is doing a run through of everything on a local host server. 4.7 is already got a flight simulator up, and it is testing it. I'm not peeking, I swear, even though I can see it on my screen over here. And then 4.8 is still writing the file. No updates. 4.8 has finally got something. It's checking its work. And at almost the exact same time, Codex and 4.7 just finished up, waiting on 4.8. It's been like 10 more minutes. Opus is still working. Another 10 minutes and Opus-4.8 is still running. I mean, it's going back. It's making a lot of different changes. The other two, they checked their work, but they just called it good for the most part, and no changes were made. Opus has now done a couple rounds of revisions. Okay, so after 25 minutes of working, Opus-4.8 is finally done. So in terms of checking its work and the honesty that Anthropic talks about in the announcement, I guess that seems to be holding. We will see. Let's try 4.7 first, just to kick this off. Nice sunset. Doesn't look like New York City, but maybe we haven't flown over to New York City yet. How do I get this working? Shift. Okay, nice. Nice and smooth. I like it. I get these things to always build a flight simulator, and then I never actually know how to control it. Okay, so oh, okay, there we go. There's kind of New York City. Yeah, we got some clusters of buildings. I don't know if I'm just terrible at this or what. Crashed. All right, that's 4.7. Now let's see codecs, better design. We've got the city in the background here. Okay, it's moving really slow. This apparently is full power. What's going on? Or GPT-5.5. Come on. This is so slow. We're never going to make it to Manhattan. I'm definitely going full speed here. So it's like not going straight. Okay, that's codecs. All right, let's see what 4.8 looks like now. Okay, here's 4.8. Like the design, we got the city in the background. Light controls looking good. We got some nice clouds. That's a nice little touch. Ooh, nice controls. Finally, I took off. That was not easy. Wow. Okay, the controls definitely feel the best. We got the city here. That's, it added some detail in the lights. There's more buildings, but it doesn't look anything like Manhattan. I don't know. Let's turn this plane around and see what it looks like. Okay. Best rendering of Manhattan so far. I can see the Statue of Liberty. Kind of looks like an island. Pretty darn cool. Okay, that's enough of that. So that is Opus 4.8. I hope this was helpful. I'm excited to report back with some more tests myself. Especially excited for knowledge work tasks and parallel subagents, those dynamic workflows they're talking about. I really want to make dedicated videos on that, but curious to hear from you when you put this to the test yourself, how it compares to 4.7 and other Claude competitors, and I'll see you in the next one.